So one thing that we are starting with is we already have good working relationship among our higher education bodies that are in this area in our secondary school system. So we appreciate that as sort of the starting point. My first job when I took this position in 2007 was to find a permanent location for a Clayton State presence in Fayette County. We were in the tennis center until we got flooded out. We were in the basement of the library. We were in the Lafayette Education Center. We were in McIntosh High School. We were in the old courthouse in downtown Fayetteville. And we finally wanted one place where we could have staff there all the time and provide more of a full range of services. Mike Amos actually helped us find our first building on Commerce Drive, and he had jet black hair before he had to start working with Georgia as a tenant, found out just how demanding that can be. But we did finally get through the roadblocks, and we opened up at 1200 Commerce Drive. Today we're located up across from the Kedron Center. We outgrew the parking lot was the Commerce. We only had 89 spots there, and it was sort of like musical chairs at night trying to get a parking spot. And so we are now is up in Kedron, just across from the Kedron Village Shopping Center. We have 6 classrooms. We operate both daytime and evening courses. We have faculty offices, full-time staff, on-site financial aid, technical support, advising. So most everything a student needs to do, they can do right there at our location in Peachtree City. When I first started, it was very quiet. This number table is actually classroom count, so it's not individual students. Some of the students take multiple classrooms. But when I started, we had 82 students in all of our classes combined. And so it was very quiet and lonely. I felt guilty when we got a vending machine because I thought they're never going to pay for that with the few students we have coming through. But you can see very rapidly we went up, and just 3 years later we were up to 770. And now our classroom counts are over 1,000 a semester, and we've just stopped counting that, and we look more at individual students that we serve. And altogether, about 500 different students take courses at CSU Fayette. About 50% take all their classes in Peachtree City. Another 25% most of their classes there, but they may go to the main campus to get their science labs or other courses that we cannot offer. And then about 25% take most of their courses on the main campus, but they may live in this area, so it's convenient to take 1 or 2 classes down here. And we find some students can't find space up there in classes, and we're getting more and more students. So we're adding to your tourism numbers, Nancy. The programs that you can get completely on-site in Peachtree City are psychology, business. The BAS builds on what Dr. Peters talked about, the AAS degrees for the building on those who have the technical degrees. Integrative studies and an interdisciplinary program. We developed a special concentration in aviation administration specifically for our Fayette County audiences, and that's doing quite well. And we have the RN to BSN, which is largely online now. And it's actually RN to MSN, Master of Science in Nursing, that you can complete online at this point. We have the MBA degree, which has special concentrations in logistics, international business, and accounting, which I think is a real boon to the area. This is our first MBA cohort. They actually meet right here at Dolce. We just can't compete with the food of Dolce. Even though we got great restaurants and close walking distance, they just love the facilities here, so they are still meeting every other weekend here for an 18-month program. Some of our other special programs is the dual enrollment program that I mentioned. Clayton State's actually the second largest dual enrollment program in the state of Georgia. Only Georgia Perimeter is larger, and they have more of a school-based program. Ours is a mix between using more centers and the main campus. Just in Fayette County, we have about 130 students in the dual enrollment program, which is starting to be a significant number. How many seniors would there probably be in the class? 2,000 students total? 1,800?
Yeah, but I'd say between 1,600 and 2,000.
Okay, so if you're talking roughly about a significant percentage of the students now are taking some dual enrollment courses. It has a lot of benefits. All the courses are fully accredited. The tuition is paid for by the Excel program, so it saves students time and money. And research shows that these students do a lot better in college because they already have adjusted and made that the leap to the college learning environment. I had a student just call me yesterday, and he was working on his Vita, and he wanted to know if he was the youngest student to ever graduate from Clayton State. And I didn't have that number real handy, but I do know that he graduated a semester early. He was a Macintosh student. He graduated high school a semester early with his associate's degree. And he completed his bachelor's about 18 months later and completed his master's degree another 18 months after that. And now he's in a doctoral program, but he still wanted that to put on his vita that he was the youngest graduate. And those are, we see, that was an outstanding student, but it is a pleasure to work with these students. They are just a very gifted group of students. We offer the entire general education core curriculum, which is transferable to any University System of Georgia institution. Even if a student has a major that we do not offer, they could actually start and do their first 2 years. And we have a lot of students who do that. A lot who are interested maybe in engineering or other programs that we don't offer will start here and then save money for a couple years before moving on to another institution. We have some 100% online degree programs that you can see listed there. And that's taken a little bit of the market away in terms of non-traditional students. When we first opened, we thought that would be a lot of our market, would be those who are 30s and 40s looking to complete a degree. A lot of those same people are looking at online programs. And so we're primarily serving a younger population than when we first stopped, when we opened. We're hitting a lot of students who are waiting to go to college, the dual enrollment population, and a lot of our non-traditional students are actually opting for online degree programs. What we see happening in the future, we're going to continue to grow and try and offer programs that meet the local needs. If you've met Dr. Hines, I think most of you have, he spends almost as much time in Fayette County as I do and live here, and just appreciate the fantastic support that he provides for us. And we're very interested in partnerships. That's really the direction that we want to go. It's talking to businesses in the area, identifying local needs. Just the other day, we met with some of the healthcare leaders, trying to talk what are some of the needs that are going to be in healthcare. And we have an outstanding nursing program, but we started looking at what are some of the allied degrees and the alternatives for students who may not be interested in nursing or are looking for other career paths. So we're constantly looking and trying to find out what it is that the people in this community really are looking for. We're very at the beginning of ramping up our film and television production, and this we feel is going to be a very vibrant program in Fayette County. The head of the IATSE, the union that makes does all the film and production behind the scenes work, came to us, or somehow through serendipity that we started working together. And we're going to provide most of the education for all the members of IATSE. And we'll be starting with several thousand people that they have members here. If you know Bobby Vasquez lives in the area and is the head of that, his vision is that we will become one of the primary educators for our IATSE nationwide. And he sees developing a lot of those programs and working with them behind the scenes to help prepare students for that industry. Because the industry is growing in Georgia, but the professionals that they need to work in those has not been keeping pace. And so we're very excited about expanding that. And just the other day, the head of the film department wants to start working on adding some more concentrations in her areas as well. And we'll have some additional online majors that we are looking at for this area and statewide. Dual enrollment program, it's going to continue to grow. Just every year we think we may be hitting the max. Just from last year to this year, we went from 90 to 130 students. And we are already, by December, we are already getting phone calls for the next year of students coming and wanting to know. And it spreads a lot of it just by word of mouth, that people find out that you can actually get the college credit and will begin asking to how they can get involved. We have the seamless transition to college, the possible development of the College and Career Academy. And again, working very closely with Kim and with Southern Crescent, Fayette County Schools, that we're very interested in finding ways that we can help and support those efforts. In terms of direct benefits to Fayette County, obviously it serves the needs of a lot of working adults. About 1/3 of all Fayette residents have some college but lack a degree. And so those are a lot of the students that we are working with to help complete their degree close at hand. It saves money for students or families through the dual enrollment program. Allows the graduates to stay here, like you said, and save up money for a year or two. And many of those students, once they're at Clayton for a couple years, find out it really is a great place to finish their education as well. And a convenient gateway to Clayton State's other 50 undergraduate and 7 graduate degree programs. If you haven't been on Clayton State's campus in the last 10 years, you need to make a trip up there. It is just as beautiful as it always was, with the lakes and the trees. But we now have well over 50 undergraduate. We got the graduate programs, a lot of new buildings that you won't even recognize if you have not been there recently. Improves the quality of the workforce. The president of NCR, in one of his interviews, cited Clayton State's logistics program as one of the main reasons they located in this area. They also mentioned a school called Georgia Tech, and I'm sure they were glad to be mentioned with us, but we were very glad. But we were very glad to be cited by Mr. Nudie as one of the reasons that they look specifically at this area. And we do have a strong commitment, and will continue to be a strong presence here. Have been offering courses for more than 10 years. And the current site that we have, we pay for 100% out of the university funds. We don't receive one extra dollar from the state of Georgia, from the university system, from state allocation, from any other body. Every single dollar that goes into supporting that site has been taken on by the university. And it's supported because we really believe this is an important part of the area that we serve, that many of our students come from this area. We recognize that transportation can be an issue sometimes in getting to the main campus. And so we very much want to have a local presence, and especially with the industrial community here, we feel that there's just a lot of opportunities to work together and develop programs that will benefit the economic structure of the community as well as our students.